Hi, my name is Abena Motaboli. I am originally from Lesotho, which is a tiny country in the middle of South Africa. As you can see on screen, I included a picture of Sunny Pass, which is this gorgeous mountain back home. I consider myself an interdisciplinary artist, a painter, a writer, a performer, an installation arts artist, and an arts educator. Like many creatives, I hold 1,000 different hats. This first image you see on screen is a series that is ongoing, and these are tea stains that I've been working on. I've also been expanding these tea stains onto canvas, so what you see right now is a 24 by 48 piece of canvas with tea, coffee, India ink, and gesso on stretched canvas. And these sort of speak to the idea of tea brought to developing countries and sort of this dialogue between the Western world and developing countries. So, what are my inspirations? Nature. I'm really inspired by nature as inspiration. Over here you see a picture of a rotting tree trunk, which I spotted in North Carolina, and on the right you see sap on freshly cut wood. I've been thinking a lot about ecological art, sustainable art making, and how we can sort of create without being part of the problem. And a couple of my other inspirations include Robin Wall Kimura, who is a botanist and member of the citizen Potawatomi Nation, author of Braiding Sweetgrass and many more incredible reads. Another inspiration is Wangechi Mutu, who is a Kenyan-born artist, and she does the image on the right, Funkalicious Fruit Field, which is a collage. So with my own work, I use a lot of ephemeral material. On the left, you'll see an image I did with rose petals, tea, coffee, India ink, and on the right, you'll see another image I did with India ink, coffee ground, and tea. So these are really important to me in exploring. And of late, I've been moving to think about tea as sculpture. So I've been playing around with light sculptures. You'll see an image of a light box on the left. And inside is mylar with tea and ink. And on the right is a big plank of wood. I experiment with the tea and with India ink, following the natural lines. I've also been doing a ton of installation work. Over here you see this piece titled In Conversation with Myself, where I recorded 2 sound pieces and had them installed on the left and right of these 3 canvases. So it was a fabric and sound installation. I also do plastic installations commenting on environmental degradation. On the right you will see a plastic installation with dirt wrapped in cellophane balls. And these are plastics I've had with me for the past 5 to 6 years that I continue reworking into different installations. So with each medium, I'm really trying to think about ways to create in a way that is more sustainable. So over here, I have installation work in different contexts. On the left, this was one I did at the Hairpin Arts Center, and on the right, that was one I did at the Stony Arts Island Bank, and these were both activated spaces with workshops going on in the day. I recently had the chance to do a residency at Respite in the Round, which is a place in North Carolina. While there, I was able to do a series of impromptu installations and performances in an alluvial forest. So over the course of 2 weeks, I left tarp in the forest and came back every day to see what had happened. I also used things off of the land to dye and stain the fabric. So I used pokeweed berries, I used clay from the river, I used tea, coffee, and India ink. When this was done, I set these installations up on different sites across the residency. So I also work with the Chicago Park District. I've been working with them for around 3 years. And these are a couple of projects that we did last summer with social distancing. So the first one was intention vessels, and one of our youth made a vessel to remind themselves to take care of nature using leaves that they had found off of the ground. I also make it a point in whatever work that I facilitate to try and get across the idea that we should be focusing art making with an emphasis on sustainable creating. So this was a workshop where we used natural materials to stain canvas, and it received a pretty good response with our youth. This one is another workshop that we did where we used brown paper bags and we made imaginative journals. one of our youth made a social justice journal talking about police brutality, which was incredible to see. So my art practice sort of weaves into my facilitation work in the sense of using culture, using nature, and furthering social justice efforts. I recently got the chance to facilitate a class at the Garfield Park Conservatory for 2 months where we had dialogues with plants. We wrote as a form of gratitude to the plants, and we did a lot of nature-based art making. So on screen you'll see a dandelion drawing and a dead saguaro cactus to the right. I think of drawing a lot as a form of documenting, a form of knowing, a way to strip to the bare essentials, and a way to sort of really get to know the plants that you are working with. So over here, for example, this is a lion's mane mushroom, which I found after researching, after drawing, that it was used in traditional Chinese medicine to benefit the 5 internal organs. It has a ton of benefits. And at the end of the Garfield Park Conservatory course, I was able to produce and publish a book, which is still to be published. But a lot of it centers around the idea of plants, plant intelligence, being able to talk to plants and such. So I'd like to leave you with this impromptu installation I did at Respite in the Round, and a quote by Robin Wall Kimmerer where she says, "Planting one tree or attending one meeting or taking one class may not seem like much, but when it changes us just a little, it changes how we see the world." Thank you.